A battle chapter is good, but a battle chapter with a lot of information is even better. And I think that this is what this chapter was. And to my honest opinion, what Asta is actually showcasing right now is pretty insane. I think that when Dante poked and started to attack the Black Bulls and Asta asked him to fight him, he pretty much saw Asta as a kid whose head was bigger than his shoulders could carry because he never knew what he was asking for. But at this point, Dante is actually seeing Asta as a threat, especially after what happened at the end of this chapter, and I think that he will actually have to pull up a whole lot of his demonic power in order to subdue Asta once and for all. And I think that this part could actually be the selling point of the Black Clover anime if they actually are able to make this far better than the Asta versus Ladros fight, and to at the very least be close to the Asta and Yuno versus League fight. This could actually be the selling point of the Black Clover anime, simply because what Asta is showing here right now is far too impressive to be neglected. So yeah guys, let's talk about Black Clover chapter 243. Of course, we are talking about the current events in the Black Clover manga, so this video is going to contain spoilers. You have been warned. Proceed with caution. We end the last chapter with Asta actually trying to slash Dante with his black divider, but Dante dodged the attack. And what was interesting about this attack was that not only was the black divider bigger than it usually used to be, but it actually dispelled the whole of Dante's gravity magic within that zone, meaning that it actually liberated characters such as Vanessa, Gauche, and pretty much Henry and Gray to an extent. Despite this, they are still unable to heal Gauche, which was quite disappointing to me, and Vanessa actually outlines this pretty well, stating that Sekre, who could actually seal away Gauche's once it's not here. I kind of felt like Tabata was telling us that Sekre would actually come in to heal Gauche, or at the very least would be the one to save Gauche's life. So I'm not that worried about Gauche, because I think that we still have a lot of information that has yet to be revealed about the Adlai family's backstory, and Mari cannot, go on without Gauche as a supporting character to her. So I think that Gauche is not going to die, at the very least not now. Gray might awaken a new power because she's actually stressed out, especially because she's the one who's pretty much good at support. Here Vanessa is good at support, but only because of her fate manipulation magic, and she pretty much cannot help Asta right now, so she's out of the game, and Gray is pretty much the only one who has done nothing, so she feels useless, and I kind of comprehend why she feels that way. That said, Gauche is resilient, so I think that the sheer fact that his grimoire is still intact means that he's pretty much still good to go, but I don't think he has a lot of time left, and that's what Vanessa outlined pretty much in this chapter. So in the next few chapters, I expect someone at the very least to come in and help him, or at the very least someone to come in and try to solve the problem they actually have at hand, because Asta is pretty much soloing Dante at the moment, and this is a perfect opportunity for them to escape. But then give it the Black Bulls as a family, I don't see them trying to leave without Asta, so that in itself is a problem for them. As far as Asta is concerned, what he did in this chapter was pretty much insane. First things first, Asta extended his Demon Slayer sword and began to attack Dante, and it felt like the Demon Slayer sword had become a mass on its own, because not only was it nullifying magic attacks, but also it was actually causing physical damage at this point. And if you guys remember the battle against the Kodotama Devil, Asta was unable to fight the Kodotama Devil because the Kodotama Devil understood that Asta's anti-magic at the very least could not dispel physical objects. That's why he always sent in physical objects together with the mana-based ones, and Asta ended up having to rely on Yuno's support to fend off the physical objects. But what his anti-magic alone is showing us in this chapter is that physical objects right now, or at the very least after Asta powers up right now, will no longer be a problem for Asta. And he's pretty much going against a guy who's possessed by the Demon King himself. We'll talk about that in a second, but a lot of information about the devils was revealed in this chapter. First things first, Lucifer has possessed Dante, and if you guys go by biblical context, you know that Lucifer is said to be a devil that is a mastermind at manipulating people. By that I mean that he's a type of character that is good at actually painting what is bad to look good in the eyes of others, and this is clearly expressed in Dante's character, because Dante feels that in being cruel, in acting cruel, in killing people, he's actually becoming more human. But on the other hand, the guy is actually getting insane every time he does this. In fact, we cannot consider him to be a normal person when he does those things, but because he's possessed by a devil who we all know is associated to that way of thinking, you can actually use that now to correlate and see why these two characters are pretty much in cohesion with each other. So in my humble opinion, I wouldn't be surprised if Lucifer possessed Dante and used Dante to brainwash Zeno and Vanica into thinking that being cruel and acting cruel was the right thing to do. So that in itself was impressive. But not only is he possessed by Lucifer, but Lucifer seems to be the boss of the demons, or at the very least the top superior demons. Dante also makes mention of the fact that he, Zeno, and Vanica are possessed by top ranking demons. This therefore means that these devils are the top of the top. But what was interesting was the fact that Lucifer said that he at the very least did not know Asta's devil and actually assumed that Asta's devil must be from the lower classes who do not possess the ability to use mana. So that therefore means that even within the demon hierarchy there is discrimination, because there seems to be lower ranks, and in fact I'll just say there seems to be a ranking system even within the devil hierarchy. So that's in itself very, very interesting. But then stating that Asta's devil is a low ranking devil is not a point I would like to say is very valid, because it's kind of vague. He's not giving us the ranks and definitely seems to not know that much about Asta's devil, but was just assuming, and that therefore means that Asta's devil could still be a high ranking one but not as high as they are. Important concept to note: Asta's devil has ripped wings, whereas the other devils seem to have full wings. That therefore means that Asta's devil might not be a conventional one or a one that is normal, or should I say he could be a rogue devil. So those were the points about the devils, and I found that quite interesting. And the most important one was also the statement that Gret was the name of the world magic devil and he too was a superior devil. And Lucifer alluded to the fact that he could have been the one possessing Asta, but that's not him. So definitely means that the world magic devil's strength was not fake. It was actually real because he was a superior demon. I believe there was even a point where he stated to Asta that that devil that has possessed him is good, but he's of a higher rank than that devil. So I think that he also drew the same conclusion as Lucifer in that chapter as well. So having said this, Dante thought he actually had the upper hand, as he stated that because Asta's devil was of a lower rank, therefore he had nothing to worry about. But then the battle grew even more intense and he tried to end Asta. At that point I felt like Dante was really trying to end the battle and stop it from continuing, but Asta kept on powering on, and in fact his black meteorite at that point was so strong that it pretty much destroyed most of Dante's attacks. Not only doing that, but if Dante was using gravity magic at that point, it was ineffective against Asta's magic before it is seen that his black meteorite erases everything within the region. So he pretty much kept on powering on and sending in black slashes using his demon dweller swords. It was Dante who casually was dodging them, but at some point one of them did connect, and it seemed like Asta read his key at that moment and predicted where he was going to appear and launch one, and the moment he appeared he got hit. So Dante was like, how dare you touch me, or how dare you land in damage on me? And I found that quite interesting, because now we know that Dante is pretty much going to pull out the big guns, probably go all out in order to show Asta a demonstration of his insane strength. That said, I think that he has piqued a lot of interest in Asta, and probably even if Vanessa escapes, he pretty much would be happy if he can actually capture Asta and bring him to his side, because even Lucifer does not know who Asta's demon is, and that in itself is quite worrying to someone who pretty much does not like to take damage and got damaged by a devil who was supposed to be of an inferior rank. That therefore means that there's something wrong somewhere, and pretty much Dante could actually get him just to actually find out who his devil is. So in my humble opinion, this chapter was very, very informative with regards to the devils. We even got info about the world magic devil level. But I'm asking myself this question. Dante now thinks that Asta only can use anti-magic. So what would happen if Asta is able to connect with one of his squad mates and use his demon dweller sword to send in a mana-based attack? I think that Dante would actually be confused at that point and won't understand how Asta is able to use mana at some point and not able to use mana, because we know that he's borrowing mana from the others and using his sword as a channel to send mana-based slashes at his opponent. So it'll be cool to see what happens next. I only hope that Asta regains control, because at some point he could at the very least turn against his own friends and pretty much damage them as well. Gauche is in a really tough spot right now, so I don't think Asta attacking them is the best thing that could happen to them at the moment. But I think that if Yami comes in and Finnoir is able to transport Gauche to the Heart Kingdom, then Sekre could actually heal Gauche and we could be done with that part. That said, like I said in the previous chapter analysis, this chapter also could have confirmed the fact that the world magic devil probably came from the demon world before going to the Clover Kingdom, and as a result he still was pit-like, because like I said, Asta's devil's transformation or his upgrade in his black form showed that his devil actually has a clover shaped tail, so that therefore means that the devil actually entered the world of the humans via the Clover Kingdom. So that's basically it for me, guys. Let me know your thoughts about this chapter in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel to become part of the Blizzard Crew, and as always, I'll catch you guys later. Please stay safe. There's a lot of cases of coronavirus out here. Stay safe, be healthy, protect yourself from the virus, and yeah, have an awesome weekend.